All right, hello everybody. So today, as I told you the last time when I presented the custom grunge generator, I'm gonna present to you two grunges. So I think that number 4 and number 5 are quite good and simple enough at the same time. Okay, so let's start with this one. I simply started with an anisotropic noise. That I rotated 45 degrees with a safe transform grayscale. So okay, just gonna put it there. Anisotropic noise. "45 degrees rotation with the safe transform grayscale node. All right. So I'm not gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm just gonna do it quickly, trying to replicate what we have here, and that's it. And then this first noise just serves as the wrapping angle inputs within a non-uniform directional warp. So let's try to put it there, non-uniform directional warp. This goes into the angle, and we have an intensity input. So the positive values are going to be warped, and the negative values are going to be pretty much untouched. And we know that we have a clouds 2 going into the intensity. So let's do it. Just you can change the randomcy, change the disorder, so it's not always the same noise, and the scale a little bit. And then as the main input, let's see what we have. Okay, we have a clouds 3, a slope blur. Let's see if we really need a slope blur. Maybe not. So clouds 3. All right, let's see the settings. So we have the angle multiplier up to 1. Nice. And an intensity of 22. Yeah, set it to 22, 1. Let's try a little bit to change the angle. Do we have a trail length? I don't know, could be. Yeah, the trail length is up to 1, and the trail mode is set to minimum. Not bad, it's gonna change a lot of things. Yeah, doesn't change much actually, so that's fine. And then what we can do is just to blend this warp with the clouds 3. I think it's with a min darken. All right, so let's do it. So everything that is pretty dark or negative in this clouds 3 will be like subtracted from our main noise. So we are getting contrast. So that's cool. Let's keep going with another blend. And this time we are gonna blend our main height, or main base, with scratches. And let's see. Right, it's a max Layton. Nice. Blend. Max Layton. And so we know that we want scratches. So there's a scratches generator that works pretty well. With it, we can use a non-uniform blur grayscale and not all levels to just make sure that the range, the value range, is optimal. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, let's try to reproduce this without looking at the settings. So first thing we can do is just to up the number, maybe like 1K, maybe more. We know that we want all of the scratches to be aligned vertically. So I'm not gonna use too much spline rotation. Maybe a bit more scale, less distortion. And for the fade mode, we can probably use start plus end. Right, let's see. And then we want to use a non-uniform directional warp. A non-uniform blur with itself. Guess we need more scratches. All right. And then another levels. Okay. So we get something like this. Pretty rich. And I'm just gonna max lighten it with what we had before. All right. So it's not everywhere the same thing. Let's compare this to what we had before. Okay, it's not exactly the same thing. Oh yeah, guess I had some distortion and more width. Okay, let's keep it that way. Then what we can do with our results is to warp it again, and we'll use the auto levels in the intensity input and in the warp angle input to get something like this. Okay, let's try it. I use the non-uniform directional warp a lot because it can really it's good to really break things up a lot. All right, I want a different angle. Some trail length. All right, okay, that's good. So it's obviously different from what we had before, but it's not the same scratches generation. And as long as it looks usable, it looks okay, it looks interesting, I think I like where this is going. Then we can use a warp with a very low value just to break things, what feels too clean. And then I use the directional warp really because I wanted uh, some verticality in the texture, something that could go on a building facade, on the wall. I think that could be interesting. So okay, let's try to do this with the warp and the directional warp. So I think it's just with itself with a very low value, 0.005 for example. That's what we had before. And then I think it's a directional warp with probably, I don't know, with this one or this one. Let's try like this. Probably a pretty high value. Okay. So you can try different ones. So usually you don't want it to be too high, the intensity, because otherwise it kind of blurs everything. So you're losing too much information. Maybe this could be enough. Let's compare. Yeah, okay, it's different. Not the same thing exactly, but it's the same idea, same spirit. That's a way to create a base Grunge map. Gonna leave it there. It was just to show you just my way of doing a Grunge one. So just with basic nodes, basic noises like the clouds 2, the anisotropic, clouds 3, and some scratches. Then by blending them together, after being like treated in a non-uniform directional warp, and ending with a warp and a directional warp, you can really get something interesting for your own projects. And then, yeah, you can try different things, different noises, different techniques. Usually, I like to try a little bit what goes through my mind without thinking about it too much, and sometimes you get interesting results. Sometimes you could even be surprised by what you end up with. But basically, what I really want to say is that the combination of, at some point in your graph, of non-uniform directional warp and non-uniform blur could be quite powerful, but mainly, yeah, the non-uniform. And you can even use two of them or three of them in a series. Here's the non-uniform blur, which gets some like light direction information in it, but once you send it through a warp, you can kind of break it and gets back to something more 2D. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. It was just something simple and quick, so that you have a good idea of how to make such a generator, which I really encourage you to do because it's kind of powerful. You can use it in your own projects. And if you want to see more about it, there's a presentation video about the generator, and also you can I will put a link to one of my ArtStation projects so that you can see more renders, more stuff. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. See you, bye bye.